Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're jumping into the graphic novel Skim. It's by Mariko and Jillian Tamaki.
Right.
And our mission really is to kind of quickly get why this story about a teenager, Kimberly Keiko Cameron, Skim, is her nickname, why it hits so hard and what it tells us about, adolescence.
Yeah.
This is basically your shortcut if you're curious about nuanced teen stories, mental health stuff, or just how powerful graphic novels can be.
And what jumps out right away, I think, is just how real it feels, the complexity of being a teenager.
Literally.
The source we looked at mentions the angst, confusion, and self-discovery, and it really doesn't pull any punches.
No.
Skim's dealing with depression, figuring out her sexuality,
Right.
body image issues.
Yep.
It's all handled with this raw honesty and sensitivity. Why do you think that honest portrayal is so important here?
Well, that rawness, it makes Skim so relatable, doesn't it? I mean, the excerpt calls her a complex and relatable protagonist.
Yeah.
You really feel that sense of being an outsider.
Yeah.
Watching her navigate identity, first love, all those big, intense feelings.
And it's not just her in a vacuum. The supporting characters are mentioned too, right? How they add depth.
Exactly. How do those other characters kind of amplify her own struggles?
Yeah, they sort of paint the whole picture of her social world.
Right.
It's not just her internal stuff. It's how she bounces off her peers, how they influence her. It shows how connected everything is during that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then there's the art. Jillian Tamaki's illustrations.
Oh, yeah.
The source calls them expressive and atmospheric, black and white, and they apparently perfectly complement the tone.
It really did.
Capturing those little emotional nuances, it feels like the pictures are telling their own story alongside the text.
Yeah.
What does that stark visual style do for the story, you think?
I think the black and white, it almost heightens that internal feeling.
And
The conflict, the uncertainty. It sort of strips away anything extra and just focuses you right on the characters' feelings, the mood of their world. It's a really good example of how much visuals can say.
So great characters, amazing art, but it also tackles some big themes.
Definitely.
The source highlights mental health, sexuality, and social isolation, again with that sensitivity and nuance. It's not just a checklist of issues.
No.
It's described as a thought-provoking exploration. Clearly that resonates. Why is that nuanced approach so key for these topics?
Because it allows for understanding and empathy, maybe.
Right.
By not giving you simple answers or like judging the characters. Skim feels more like real life, which is often messy and complicated.
Yeah.
So it feels more authentic and maybe more helpful for readers going through similar things.
Good point. Now, the excerpt we read was pretty balanced. It did mention potential downsides, like the pacing can feel slow at times, and also that some readers may find the subject matter challenging. It's fair to bring those up.
Absolutely. And that slow pace, you could argue it's intentional.
How so?
Like it lets you really sink into Skim's head, her internal world.
Yeah.
And the challenging stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that just reflects the reality for a lot of teens, doesn't it?
True. Okay, so if we had to boil it all down, what's the core takeaway from this deep dive into Skim?
I'd say Skim offers this really powerful, very empathetic look at being a teenager.
Yeah.
Through Skim herself, the visuals, and how it handles themes like mental health and identity, it just delivers a really resonant experience.
So here's something to chew on. How does this mix of words and pictures and graphic novels let stories capture both what's going on inside someone's head and the world around them, especially during those really formative teenage years?
Interesting question.
What other kinds of stories could really benefit from that layered approach, that visual and textual depth? Something for you to think about. Thanks for exploring Skim with us today.